continued. A word on the word agree. If you watched part one, you know where we are. If you have not, you do not know where we are. But we have just had the landowner pay the workers, and he can pay the workers. And the workers, it's not good for the worker to decide to tell the landowner what he should do. And we're looking at this word, agree. And people should agree. Now in Matthew chapter 20, verse 2, we saw that Jesus was teaching. And that's what Jesus did. He taught. And when he taught, he spoke. And when he spoke, people heard. And he was teaching here. And he says, is it not lawful? This is in verse 15. Is it not lawful for me to do what I wish with what is my own? Is your eye envious because I am generous? The last shall be first, and the first last. Now those are words by Jesus. And if you are listening to my words, you are seeing that I can read. And the word agree, the same word agree in the Greek, has been mentioned or has been used in Matthew chapter 18, 20. And it's also used in Acts chapter 5 and Acts chapter 15. I have done a little research this morning on the word agree. And many people are confused. And they think that I will agree to disagree. Won't happen. Why would I agree to disagree just to please the devil? That's how I would be looking at it. If I agreed to disagree, I would be doing that to appease the devil. It won't happen. In Acts chapter 5, you won't find the words of Jesus, but you will find the words of someone. And now I am turning to Acts chapter 5. And in Acts chapter 5, in verse 9, is where the word agree or agreed may have showed up. Yes, they agreed together. They did. Now these people that agreed together are messing up, because in chapter 5 it begins with a certain man named Ananias with his wife sold a piece of property. That's what they did. They sold a piece of property. And they kept back some of the money for themselves. And they brought a portion of that money to the apostles. They did not bring anything to the apostle Paul because there was no apostle Paul at this time. But they did bring the money, and they brought it to the apostles, and they were in Jerusalem. And now let's see what happens here. Peter says to Ananias, "Why has Satan filled your heart?" Those are the words of Peter to Ananias. Filled your heart to keep back some of the price of the land. Now, how on earth did Peter possibly know? How about Holy Spirit? Have you ever heard those words? The Holy Spirit. The same Holy Spirit that revealed things to Jesus is revealing things to Peter. And it's in Acts chapter 5. Peter says, "While it remained in your possession, it was yours, but you sold it." And a deed had been conceived in his heart. That's where Satan deceives and brings deeds from people's heart. Now, it says in Acts chapter 5, verse 9, we'll get there. It's just right here that Peter watched Ananias die, and some 3 hours later, his wife shows up. And in verse 9, Peter says to her, "Why is it that you have agreed together to put the Spirit of the Lord to the test?" Why is it that anyone would do that? I don't believe anyone would do that on their own. I believe they've got to have help from Satan. I really do. Why would a person want to kill themselves? I can't figure one out. But it says, Peter said to her, "Why is it that you have agreed together to put the Spirit of the Lord to the test?" This is the same Spirit of the Lord that came upon Jesus. And that's what some people just don't know too much about today. The Spirit of the Lord. They don't. But Peter just says, "Behold, the feet of those who have buried your husband are at the door, and they shall carry you out as well." Yep. They were in agreement. They had agreed together. And they put the Spirit of the Lord to the test. Something Jesus told the devil, "I won't do it." Anyway, there's one more place to look, and it's in Acts chapter 15. So I guess there will be a part 3.